Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Alpine Skiing and Snowboarding, our pre-season webinar for winter 2020. So we'd like to start tonight with a little bit of an agenda and also let you know who is on tonight's call. So we appreciate you making the time to be here for our call. We're hoping that we might be able to give you some new or updated information this evening. So our agenda is basically some housekeeping information, followed by winter sports updates and reminders for Alpine and snowboarding. And then we'll have some outdoor winter games event registration information, followed by some questions. Who's on the call tonight? Tonight, your speakers will be myself, which is Jennifer Tresp. I am your Training and Unified Sports Director. Mike Ermer, your Western Competition Director. Aaron, I hope I don't butcher his last name, Yothers. And Aaron is with the Alpine venue, and Laura Waite, who is with the snowshoeing venue. We have a couple of topics to go over, some coaching issues that you need to remember. At all times, there must be a 1-to-4 ratio, and again, that's coach to athlete ratio, and it must be maintained at all times. This also applies to training as well as competition. So remember, for a competition, this means on the way to the competition, while you're at the competition, and then when you're on the way home. I know often coaches like to head out with somebody else, or you have athletes wanting to go home with someone else, but please make sure that the ratio is met at all times. Again, it's one coach for every 4 athletes. And that one coach must be a Class A volunteer. By Class A volunteer, we're referring to somebody who has protected behaviors, general orientation, concussion training, and a cleared background. Okay, so that is what a Class A volunteer is. And as always, there must be one certified coach per sport and per team. So by the end of this year, there must be at least one certified coach per team, okay? And for example, Alpine and snowboarding, which is considered an individual sport or a skills, there must be one certified coach for every 25 athletes, okay? So for every 25 Alpine skiers you have to have one certified coach. For every snowboarder, you have to have one certified coach for every 25 athletes. The skills refers to team skills. So if you have a volleyball team and you have individual skills athletes competing, as always, you've had to have that certified coach for the team. Now you have to have a certified coach also for the skills athletes. We'll talk a little bit about the Visas portal. My favorite area on the Visas portal happens to be the training schools, webinars, and more area. If you go into your personal portal, as you can see, we're in Mike's portal. And if he clicks on the training school, webinar, and more, there's 3 options for him. The first one is sports skills sign up. This is the area to sign up for a training school. So if you were on the website and you saw that there was a snowboarding training school and you wanted to attend, this is where you would go. Click on the sports skills sign up, click on snowboarding, and then you would be able to register for the training. If you wanted to have a snowboarding training and there wasn't one available, you'd go into this area again and you'd click on sports skills training interest, which is a track 1, and you would go under winter and you would click on snowboarding. And this would tell me that you are interested in a snowboarding training. If you have extensive experience in snowboarding, maybe you're an instructor at a mountain, you've snowboarded for the last couple of years, you have a certification with that mountain, you might want to try to go as an experienced coach. So you would follow the Special Olympics Pennsylvania Track 2 experience coach fill out that form with as much information as possible. As soon as you hit submit, it comes to me, and I'll be back in touch with you to let you know if you can go through the experience course instead of taking a skills course. So another important part of this Visas portal is the My Information tab. There are two items on here that I'd like you to take note to. One is My Calendar. So once you've signed up for a training school, it goes to your calendar. So you can see it there on your calendar if you want to make sure you're registered for it. If something would happen and you would not be able to attend, you can go into your calendar, right-click on the training, and you can delete yourself from the training. Okay, so you'll find that on My Calendar. The other spot is Completed Trainings, and this will be a list of all your sports certifications with their expiration dates. Okay, so go on in and make sure you check out your portal. Okay. Something new that they added to the portal is on the front page, you will see a listing of all of the Class A materials. Okay, you'll see a listing of the Class A trainings that you need to take. It'll tell you if they are complete or if they need to be updated. It looks like Mike has some updating to do. So what Mike would do is go into his portal, and up by the training schools, he would see an area called Class A required trainings, and he could take his general orientation, protective behaviors, and concussion. He could take them right there. And what's nice about this is once you click on general orientation, you take it, you pass it, it goes directly into your Visas record. There's no middleman, so it goes right on in, and it will be there within moments. Okay, so take some time, go into your portal, and check out these areas. You'll see this is also where you can sign up and register to work with Fit 5, and we'll be going over Fit 5 a little further on down in this presentation. So Mike is going to take a couple of slides here.
All right, we just have a little bit of an overview of some of the roles. Again, just some high-level stuff that we like to review with you guys every year. So job descriptions and levels of responsibility for the head coach. The head coach needs to be certified in the sport, knowledgeable of the national governing bodies, rules and regulations, supplies or supervises all of the assistant coaches and athletes, decides on training sites, develops a communication network within the coaches and the families, decides on disciplinary measures for coaches and athletes that step out of line, distributes crisis plans, is responsible for equipment, transportation, and lodging for all competitions and practices, assigns the duties to the assistant coaches, ensures assistant coaches and athletes receive all of the necessary rules, schedules, whatever it might be for each particular season, ensures that volunteers are cleared before the first practice. So we want to make sure that all of the assistant coaches have all the necessary clearances before they take the court or floor or whatever it might be. Similarly, that athletes have a current medical file in Visas. It's complete and current before the first practice, and completes all of the required paperwork for competition, training numbers, whatever it might be. So top of the chart for the head coach. All right, so the assistant coach, slightly lighter schedule for them, helps to coach and supervise the athletes. You know, they're really kind of the boots on the ground when we're maintaining our 1-to-4 coach to athlete ratio at all of our competitions. They're working towards being certified in the sport. As Jen mentioned, they don't have to be a certified head coach in the sport. They perform the duties assigned by the head coach, assist in evaluating the training of the athletes, arrive on time for practices, stays throughout practice, and assists with uniform, collection of medicals, taking attendance, collecting equipment, just an extra set of hands for the head coach. Practice plans. This is one that I'm big on. I've put on a couple of webinars on this for coach training. My background, I've been a lacrosse coach for more than 20 years. And one of the big things that I preach is practice plans. It's often an overlooked step when a coach is thinking about preparing for a season, but it is vitally important. You want to make sure you share a practice plan with your assistants so that everybody's on the same page. And the practice plan keeps your practice organized. It sets specific times and sticks to them. Okay, it fights the law of diminishing returns. As a coach, we've all had a team going through a drill and you really want to get it perfect and you end up spending 40 minutes where everybody seems to get worse as those 40 minutes go on. So if you stay to a specific time in your practice plan for a drill, move on from it, come back to it the next week. Also allows you to be prepared for the next drill. I've always kind of said sending everybody to a water break so the coaches can get organized and figure out what the next drill is can kind of be a waste of time. You want the water break to be quick so you can set up the next drill. If you have it written on a practice plan, you know what's coming up, you know what's ready to go next. And it maintains a consistent structure to your practice. And building that consistent structure makes a good flow of practice, lets the athletes get into a rhythm and really have a productive practice.
All right, so back to the website. On the front page of the website, you'll see the volunteer resource area. Underneath there is the volunteer center. If you click on the volunteer center, you will see this screen come up that has the monthly update, sports offered information. If you go down the second column, the second last, or the blue arrow as you see, is for continuing education courses. So remember, once you are certified, you must take a continuing education course every 3 years to maintain your certification. If your certification lapse, you will have to start back with a training school. Okay, so click on this area to see what kind of options we have. There's an entire list of them. One of those options happens to be our webinar series called Lunch and Learn. You'll see that we offered them last year once a month and a couple of them the year before that, and we will be setting up a bunch this year. So if you have any ideas for a continuing education course and you would love to give those suggestions to me, I would love for you to do so, so we can give you the kind of continuing education you're looking for. The last few continuing eds we did was how to do your team summaries for our team sports. Mike has done a couple about goal setting, lesson plans, working on those type of things. We've had resources for IUS, all types of them. So if you have any ideas, please don't hesitate, let us know, and we'll work on a webinar with that specific information that you're looking for. So again, you can send that to me at jtress@specialolympicspa.org. The coach's training and progression plan is one of the items that we have going now. We had our first class last summer games. We will have another class coming up this summer games, and you'll see it goes from bronze level to silver to gold. And here's what it's like. You start with your certified coach, you become a Class A volunteer, and you are certified in at least one sport for a year. From that point, you can go to work on your bronze level. So now you'll go to the BISA's portal. Under Class A trainings, you'll see the Fit 5. You'll do the Fit 5 information. You'll set it up right there. You will receive those books from Chelsea Drove, and you will be able to work with Fit 5. Once you get through a season of Fit 5, you're working on personal best performance goals with your athletes, you'll take the course Coaching Special Olympic Athletes, And once that is all done, you'll fill out your paperwork and you'll become a bronze level coach. The bronze leveling coach includes a bronze lanyard and a photo ID to wear at all events stating you're a bronze level coach. Step 2 is moving on to the silver, and now you're going to do athlete goal setting. You're going to train for a minimum of 10 weeks with your athletes. Principle of Coaches course you'll take along with Coaching Unified Sports. And just a reminder, you'll still continue on with the Fit 5. And again, after you complete your silver material, you'll get a silver lanyard with a silver ID, and again, it's a photo ID. The last step is to become a gold level coach. You'll take a tactics course, which is an advanced skills course. Now you're training for 10 weeks, but you're going to train twice a week. And then you're going to develop a year-round training and wellness plan for your athlete. That will take you to the gold level. Now you'll receive a gold lanyard with your gold picture ID along with a gold level lapel pin. Okay, so if you're looking for information on that, you can go right on to the SOPA website, and under the training page, you will find the information on the gold, silver, and bronze level plan. This is the Fit 5 plan, and in the Fit 5 plan, it is a wonderful guide, and what it does is it's going to help you work with the athletes. It's just 5 to 10 minutes before, during, or after your practice, okay? And again, you sign up through the Visa's portal under Class A trainings. You'll do the Fit 5 sign up, and Chelsea Drobe will send you the information you need after you take care of the sign up. Okay. So here's what you get. Here's the goals of it. The reason it's Fit 5 is because we're going to exercise 5 days a week. The plan concentrates on endurance, strength, flexibility, and balance, and showing that exercise can really be a lot of fun, and how to set your Fit 5 exercise goals. We want the athletes to eat total of 5 fruits and vegetables per day. The booklet will talk about a healthy weight, healthy foods, building a healthy plate, perfect portions, healthy meals and snacks, and of course, trying to reach your Fit 5 nutritional goal. And then the third section is to drink 5 water bottles per day to help you stay hydrated, to prevent you from becoming dehydrated, and then choosing healthy beverages and reaching your Fit 5 hydration goals. Okay. That's the basics of the Fit 5 program. And then this is what you get. The coach will get a coach's guide, which is in the picture A. It's the long, slender book. They will get the coach's appendix, which is in B, which is letter B, the appendix book. And then you will also get the fitness cards. The athlete will receive the athlete's guide, which is the booklet, and letter D, and the fitness card. What's kind of cool is the fitness cards are broken up into the areas of endurance, strength, flexibility, and balance. So it gives the athlete different exercises for those areas. The Fit 5 Coach's Guide, when you open that up and you're showing the lesson to the athletes, there's a lesson, they'll be talking, let's say we're talking about hydration and your 5 waters a day. Those pictures of 5 water bottles will be showing up. But on the back of the card, what the coach is looking at is the information that they need to be giving the athlete. So the athlete's looking at the photo while you're talking about it. And you have your cheat sheet right there to talk to the athletes about it. Now, these lessons are 5 to 10 minutes at the most. They can be done before, during, and after your practices. And it's a lot to get the athletes thinking about and excited to get them on their way to our Fit 5 fitness plan. Mike.
Yeah, so personal best is something that we are program we're working on developing. There's a lot of legwork behind the scenes that we've been doing to try to gather all of the data that we can. But so personal best tracking, it's a goal to focus on goal setting, improving times, and performance awareness for the athletes. Personal best scores can be entered in all the registration paperwork for our sectionals and state level competitions. I am working on gathering all of that and entering it bit by bit into our games management software so we can track personal bests. We only want those personal best performances from a competition. Okay, practice performances are not considered personal best records. The personal best score in most cases will not be the same as the entry score for a competition. So when you're going into a sectional or a state level event, the score we want to be entered is the best score for that year. It might not be their all-time personal best. So that's kind of what we mentioned here in D, is that the entry score should reflect the athlete's current best score or average of scores from a practice or competition during the current training season. But inside of GMS, we can keep track of all-time personal bests to recognize those at some point in time. And then for goal setting and tracking, we did a presentation on this at the leadership conference, had a great panel discussion on it. So why are goals important? Goals keep focused and allow measures of success for the athletes. It keeps them kind of driving towards something to attain. Allows the athletes to be part of, or allowing the athletes to be part of the goal setting process will lead to a sense of ownership and accountability for the athletes. And as a coach, you want to communicate often and listen to your athletes as goals might change throughout a given training season or year to year. Give consistent feedback and listen, like I said, to the athletes. Have the hard conversations and come up with new goals together as athletes might age out, performances drop. You can adjust your goals so that you can reach those goals and celebrate all the successes, big or small, on the way to achieving those goals. So how to track results and manage goals is something we had a long talk about. At the first practice, the first thing you want to do is announce that you're going to be tracking their progress throughout a training season and explain goal setting. Okay, at subsequent practices, continue to reiterate those goals that have been set, collaborate towards setting those goals. Allow for alternatives. Okay, so if an athlete may choose not to compete but has a goal to lose weight, that can be a goal to set. So goal setting doesn't have to be personal best. It doesn't have to be a score. You can set numerous goals that you can get a sense of achievement along the way. You want to record your results at practices, provide feedback to the athlete so they understand their progress. And this is something that Scott Otterbein does with Montgomery and his LDR team. He gives the athlete a 3x5 card with the goal numbers and explain what the numbers mean, in relationship to the run and or whatever the event might be. So, really just communicating with the athletes on their performance, how they're tracking towards their goals, and ways that they can improve that drive for that goal. All right, some World Games updates. So Special Olympics Winter World Games in Sweden for 2021 have been canceled. There's a core team of Special Olympics staff are currently exploring additional locations that may be able to host the Winter World Games in 2021. So the planning for the games will continue. We will work closely with SOI and Special Olympics USA management team to monitor the situation. We expect to hear more from them next week, if not sooner. We know that the training camp is still scheduled to be held in Colorado, and they're still collecting the registration information for the games. We had 8 World Games athletes selected. We actually got an extra Alpine allocation recently, and we awarded that. So we had Brooks Trimble from Lancaster County, Ricky Utsi from Area M, Lydia Wirt, and then the new one was Jana Novatsky. They are our Alpine athletes for Team USA. Bobby Snively Moray is our speed skating athlete, along with Lisa Robinson from Chester. We have Justin Grimley in snowshoeing and Moray Ford in cross-country skiing. That was a great selection process they did live on Facebook during the Philly Plunge a little while back. It was pretty awesome. If you haven't seen it, I suggest going and looking it up.
It's quite funny because all of the Philadelphia professional team mascots were there, along with our mascot, Philadelphia. And Michelle had a hard time keeping those mascots under control. Okay, so let's head into some changes and rule updates. Okay, Alpine skiing, as you know, our sport director is Mike Suman. And unfortunately, Mike cannot be on the call tonight due to some family issues. So we were lucky enough that Aaron would join us. And Aaron is Aaron is the assistant venue coordinator for the venue, and he'll be taking over from me in just a moment. But if you do have questions on Alpine, please contact Mike Suman. His email is alpine@specialolympicspa.org. So here is Aaron to talk to you a little bit about, the new Alpine rules.
Hi, good evening, everybody. First, we're going to take a look at Rule 651, which is under the Advancement Rule section. 651 basically just lays out that during competition, if the competitor moves out of the general direction of the course, that they have a set amount of time to correct their deviation. The change that needs highlighted is actually on the next slide, Rule 652. Rule 652 mentions that if the competitor fails to adhere to the time limit, it actually isn't on this slide, sorry, but the rule change is we've gone from a 2-minute time to a 1-minute time in novice, intermediate, and advanced. So the correction time will be 2 minutes now, timed by the gate judges, and if they go over that time, it unfortunately will result in a disqualification. On to helmets for this year. There was a push made for everyone to become compliant with the new helmet rules. There are helmets that have federal or International Federation of Skiing certification that are race helmets. They have a special label affixed to the back of them. They have a few characteristics, a hard shell that covers the ears, things like that. Soft ear protection helmets will be allowed for the slalom events, but for the faster speed events, Super G and Giant Slalom, they want us to now have every athlete for both training and competition in one of these new FIS certified helmets. We were, however, granted a waiver for this year only. We can continue using our standard ski helmets that we've all had for the last number of years. But the emphasis here is that this is just a 1-year waiver. By next season, we will have to have every athlete in one of the approved certified helmets. We will have an example of one of these helmets at the Sunday coaches meeting this year. We will bring one there so everyone can see it, see what the label looks like, kind of see what all the fuss is about with these helmets. They're really just designed to perform better in higher impact speeds, and some of the materials used in them will withstand multiple impacts. That's kind of what's behind this. In a racing situation, they're just a little more safe.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate you going over those couple of rules. And I do have some questions here. So first things first, we do have a note saying that that someone has heard the training camp has been postponed. We have not heard that officially. We will double check into it, and we will let everybody know once we get complete confirmation on that. Okay, Aaron and Mike, I'm not sure if either of you can answer this, but the question is there a reason why athletes cannot take an inspection run at Winter Games on the actual race course?
So this is Aaron. What event are you referring to? Because for most of the ski events, the rules are that, the course cannot be skied ahead of time. I can find in the rule sheet where it talks about this and refer you to it. So if you don't mind, I'll look something up and post it back in the chat window, if that's all right.
Very good. Thanks, Aaron.
Jen, I heard from Laura. She's actually on the hill. She's getting on here in just a minute, so you can.
She is.
Yeah, she'll be here any minute.
All right. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we jump down to the Outdoor Winter Games information that you can go over?
Sure thing. Winter Games, and I know indoor, outdoor, we'll call it Winter Games until we're told differently. We're going to be February 9th to 11th up at Seven Springs. The committee has been meeting since September, and they're very excited. A lot of energy, great group. Again, back working for Winter Games. So the pre-event webinar, we're going to have that scheduled. I posted it. I sent it out to you guys. It will be January 28th at 7:00 p.m. There's a registration link that went out recently in a recent email to the programs. So you can dig that up, or we'll send it out again to all the coaches. Important dates to remember. So registration, the Google Docs just went out a couple days ago. Those are due back to me on January 16th. Well, they're just due. You finish them up and I'll pull them off the web on January 16th. Scratch and activation information is going to be due on February 3rd. And like we mentioned, Aaron is our venue coordinator at Alpine. We took a little bit of that weight off of Mike Suman, since he's pretty much taken the role of event director for us. So we're fired up about that. Actually, Laura's on. Okay, Laura, I'm going to mute you. It sounds like you're still in. Do you want to just, Laura, you there?
Laura Waite is here.
All right.
All right, so we have exciting news, everybody. Snowboarding is here, and we have two sport directors, co-directors, Ashley Amata and Laura Waite. So they will be both at Winter Games. If you have any questions for them, you can email them at snowboarding@specialolympicspa.org. So we have Laura on the line. And Laura, if you want to go over a couple slides here.
Yes, of course. Thank you for the introduction. I apologize, I wasn't on earlier. We were just getting off the slope at Blue Mountain with a lot of our snowboarders. So this is awesome. Some of you might know me from last year. I came to Winter Games and I had a presentation with all of you just discussing snowboarding, and had one of my athletes there to demonstrate. We did like a head coaches for skiing to try to get this sport keep going. For this year, last year we had 3 athletes, 2 from Chester and 1 from Montgomery, and this year we're going to have about 20 athletes participating this year in Winter Games, which is completely awesome. So it's definitely an emerging sport, which means that it is official competition. We get official medals, and I know 2 of my athletes from last year that are coming back this year for Winter Games are super excited because they got ribbons last year, and it means a lot to them to get placed with medals this year, which is awesome. So for snowboarding, how does snowboarding become an official sport? We have to maintain the growth in number of athletes and programs over the next few years. We added a bunch of counties this year up by Blue Mountain area and the surrounding counties, which is great. At Winter Games, we will be coming out the same time as Alpine skiers. We'll get called the same time, and if we have an entry-level snowboarder, you'll be called to that same venue as the same level that the skiers are. So we'll have novice, intermediate, advanced, and we'll be giving you guys a schedule at the meeting at Sunday's coaches meeting. So just a bit like that, and I'll be there to help and support all of the other athletes. All of the athletes that I work with usually have their own coaches, so I'll be there to support anybody and anybody's needs, and Ashley will as well.
So if you have any questions about snowboarding while you're at the event or you'd like to see one, please stop by and see Laura and Ashley.
Thank you guys so much.
Welcome aboard, Laura.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Mike had talked a little bit about Winter Games, and so we're going to turn it back over to Aaron so he can talk about the schedule. And just a reminder that this schedule is for Alpine and snowboarding.
All right, hello again, everyone. So Sunday evening, 8:45 is the scheduled coaches meeting. Mike, I assume there'll be announcements about what room that's in. That probably hasn't even been planned yet, I would suppose.
Correct, yeah, we'll confirm that.
Okay, and Monday evening's meeting is to be determined. Ski fitting at the resort rental shop starts Monday at 9 a.m. Course inspection on the courses Monday and Tuesday will begin at 9:15 a.m. Slopes, we will have all of that information ready to be announced at Sunday's coaches meeting. The way winter has been going, we don't want to get too married to the location of anything till we make sure that we actually have winter in full swing for ourselves. So Monday competition 9:30 to 11 will be giant slalom prelims. 1 to 3:30 will be the entry level prelims. 1 to 3 will be on Monday. 1:30, I'm sorry, to 3. Looks like there's maybe some overlap in those times, Mike. Oh, I'm sorry. Entry level runs at a different venue. So yes, 1 to 3 is the entry level prelims. 1:30 to 3, the giant slalom finals. 9:30 to 11:30 on Tuesday will be the Super G finals. 10 to 11 will be the entry level area finals. And Tuesday from 11:15 to 1 will be the slalom finals. Awards for both Alpine and snowboarding will be in the Grand Ballroom on Tuesday. Entry-level awards will begin at 12:30, novice at 1, advanced 1:30, and intermediate at 2. Lunch each day, Monday and Tuesday, will be between 11 and 1.
All right, thanks, Aaron. All right, I'll have just 1 or 2 slides left for our presentation tonight. Please remember that we do have that closed Facebook group for coaches. It's 100% optional. It's a direct connection to other coaches. It's shared communication, information, and reminders. What's cool about it is we have coaches on there sharing ideas, asking questions, providing coaches tips. People respond to them. It's wonderful. You'll see that we put on reminders about conference calls, on webinars, paperwork, due dates, all of that stuff comes through this closed Facebook group. So if you would like to join it, please do. Mike Irmer, what is the best way to join this Facebook group?
They can be nominated by somebody who's already in the group. They can reach out to me and send me an email. I believe they can go right on Facebook, search out the group, and request to join. If you do request to join, please, there are 2 questions that are asked. Which local program do you coach for? and what sports do you coach? I beg you guys to answer those questions, or if you have another coach sign up, have them answer those questions, because if I'm an administrator for the group, if I get a request to join and I don't see those questions answered, I will deny. So please answer those questions.
Okay. And then last but not least, if you are hosting a local program invitational, please let Mike Ermer know at mermer@specialolympicspa.org. You can see Montgomery is having a ski and snowboard invitational on February 1st at the wonderful Blue Mountain Resort. And then Tim Johnson is the contact for that event. So please let Mike know if you have invitationals, and he will get the word out to other programs to let them know it is available. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take this list of everybody who is on here, and we are unmuting you. Okay, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them at this time. Okay. I'm not hearing any questions. We still have the one question in the group chat that we are getting answered, that we're getting the answer for. So we will reach out to you and make sure that you do receive the answer to your question. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And if you have no further questions, we will close up tonight's webinar. Thank you for joining.